Yeah, I really just don't have a comment.
I'll give you my comment. Who the fuck is Uway?
The nail in the coffin for him, and what really made Cog do a stream, is that he was giving them the benefit of the doubt, and he was just getting shit all over. And for the fact that him to say, you go your way, or you just listen and believe. If you don't believe me, you go your way, I go mine, and then he just left. Nothing else happened in that point. He left, and then he left the Discord. And it was just like, what the ever-loving fuck is going on? This is not okay.
Situations in the situation, and I was thinking about the situation, and you know, the situation had a situation. It's like, fuck, dude, shut up. Just say you're emotional, that you get your feelings hurt really easy, and I hurt your feelings somehow. That's literally all it comes down to.
All right,
you have your hurt feelings.
Yeah, and then walk this, so you keep walking it through to its natural progression. So he's in the interview, he admits that it was his mistake. He shouldn't have been doing that. That he shouldn't have disassociated with you. That it was all his fault. So then, why isn't he coming around when you reach out to him?
Exactly. I mean, he still did the whole "I'm not speaking to you" at first, and I kept being nice, and and then eventually he was like, "I should have been nicer to you, Stretch."
So what does he say now if you try and talk to him, or you just don't bother?
I haven't DM'd him. I literally put that ball in his court.
Wow.
I literally was just,
you know, was really sorry,
it was like, here you go. Yeah. If I'm not blocked on Twitter or Discord. He could DM me on either one of those. So.
And I mean, it can't just be everybody. It can't be everybody else's responsibility when he's the one that's done wrong. Like, you've shown an interest in trying to get this squashed. I mean, would you? If he came to you and wanted to squash it, would you squash it?
I'm willing to walk into a conversation with a normal tone of voice and no insults and have a conversation with the dude.
I just see it as it's just a pile of nothing burgers. It's a pile of talk.
Yep, 100%.
If he meant what he said, then things would be changing, and that's what's fucking me off. Maybe I'm overreacting, but I thought he would have at least maybe go his own way. I don't know. Maybe I am overreacting. I'm not sure. Just for some reason, you know,
I don't
pinged off.
I get the frustration. You've gotten. I mean, we've all been kind of wrapped up in it, and like, and you think about it too. That blow up stream was like it was actually a long time ago. It was like over 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, nearly. Yep.
Yeah, in the internet time, that's a long ass fucking time. And the only person that's drugged this out is Uway.
Hello and welcome back to part 3 of the Uway Lore, because fuck my life. Let's hope this stops soon, but I think I'm probably done at this point anyways. For this episode, Uway drops in for an interview to give his side of the story. I've cut quite a bit out, but you can find the full interview on SoundCloud, link in the description. There are some questions and answers totally left on the cutting room floor. However, I think for some people looking for answers, you may not find it anyways. Uway did cancel the interview on 2 occasions, but if you couldn't tell, I kind of went on a deep fact-finding mission in part 2. And so after going to Uway with questions about his principles and beliefs prior to posting part 2, he picked up on the fact that I was coming from that perspective, so agreed to the on-the-spot interview. I tried to get him to answer the big questions in a non-confrontational style, and there are some insights into why Uway acted the way he did, and his perspective on the situation. He does have a habit of not answering questions and going off on tangents, so there are some points I will ask again, but in different ways. Look, I'm just going to be honest with my opinion with it. I find Uway to be sincere in what he says, or when he makes an apology, but at the same time, it was very difficult to get some straight answers, with some responses going off on totally different wavelengths. I try to ask the big questions and get very specific answers instead, about one element of a much larger picture, so I'm not sure how many will perceive the interview. I think many will be done with him at this point regardless, and to be fair, I can understand why. I guess my main issue is that if Uway is apologetic and understands now that many of the issues were of his own doing, then why is he still exhibiting the same behaviours to those he has apologised to? Since part 2, there have been a few that have tried reaching out personally to squash the issues between them. And I mean, they have really tried to extend an olive branch, yet Uway still refuses to talk or even acknowledge them, and has even blocked them once again. Uway says he has unblocked people and let them back into the Discord, yet today he is blocking people again, and then he's giving people Discord roles that are unable to post at all. If Uway is sorry for disassociating with particular people, if he recognises his actions caused this, and if he is sincerely sorry for his behaviour, then why is he still enacting the exact same behaviour? And so I'm just confused as to what is the truth at this point. I'm just over trying to work it out. And my plans to just keep this video as mainly his full interview have just changed now. I don't mind Uway, I really don't. I like chatting to him, but the problems he causes with everyone else, because he can't give people straight up answers for his actions and continues to carry on down the path to destruction while saying he has learnt from his mistakes, has got me fucked, like just totally fucked. So hopefully after this part I have enough sense to just be done with it. So in this part we will have the Uway interview, followed by Hephaestus, breaking it all down, giving his take and going over his behaviour since Cog's 3-hour stream with Uway. Since Cog's stream, Uway went into Noam Bitwave Lolcow, Kitty Styles Discord. There he had some run-ins with Plate Gang along with conversations with Kitty himself. Some of what transpired has been playing above that you can see now. Uway has now left that server, and then the last few days he has begun streaming but not archiving daily streams on his main channel again. Anyways, enough of me rambling, let's get into the Uway interview.
How you been, EarJuice?
Yeah, I've been alright.
Doing well myself, sir. So why don't we let's talk about it, man.
Yeah, that's good. That's it. So you said that you seem to live by a set of principles, and you actually feel quite strong about those principles and making sure that you live by them. Is that correct?
I try to do my best to live by them. It's a learning curve, but you know, with time you build on those principles. And yeah, I not just go through stoicism. I try to study Buddhism, existentialism, because I honestly feel I've always felt like I needed to learn the best way to live, and I always thought who better to learn from than the greatest thinkers, the greatest philosophers who have ever lived, to help me plot a way for me to go about into my future and make the best choices. So I try to live by principles that I think are the best. I'm just trying to live the best life I can, you know?
Okay, so from the initial drama, I noticed that the main problem that I saw was the fact that you disassociated with people in the first place and then did further disassociations. Now, I didn't realize it until I started looking back before the fight with Blue, that this was mainly that it sort of came to your train analogy that you gave, that you see your life as living on going on a train, and people can jump on the train, but if they're not on the same path or on the same track as you, well then they're going to be jumping off that train. And that not only is for females in your relationships, but that also goes towards internet buddies or whatever as well. Is that the way? Is that the reason why you disassociated with people?
I honestly felt in that situation that when it comes to, and this is a certain principle in itself, try to be as good to people as you possibly can, but at the same time, understand you can't control them and they could be gone at any second.
Mm.
And whether they're there or they're not there, you still have to keep moving forward. You know what I mean? It's not that you don't care about them, it's just that, you can't control them. And I am that way with people in real life. I am that way in terms of my relationships. I have things I want to do and accomplish, things that are important goals within that I want to achieve and accomplish. And I've always felt that if, people were a certain kind of way, then you just have to let them go. It's one of the most difficult skills you can learn in life, to let people go, but it's something that I have worked on and built on. And I'll just, if I feel like things go a certain way, I just let people go. And sometimes I do it in a wrong way. I shouldn't have. I still say I shouldn't have disassociated from Blue Waffle. I
Mm.
still apologize for disassociating with Stretch. Again, that the biggest argument is always going to be that I disassociate from Cog, and I still maintain I didn't. But I still made mistakes.
But then, I mean,
And get
like you're getting caught up on the semantics, and that's really what brought you down in the final confrontation with Cog, where you're sort of like, okay, well, that's not true because of this thing over here or this little fact over here. And then by doing that, everyone was sort of calling you out, and then thinking that the whole thing was a lie, like you'd never had a girlfriend, you never had this.
and that actually bugged me out because I was literally last weekend spending time with her, and at the same time, I was so confused by this that I asked people for advice in regards to it because I didn't know how to handle the situation. And I had a number of different people tell me what I should do, and then I did it.
Mm.
And she's now my ex-girlfriend, but it just people just I can't control what people believe, and it sucks.
So you can see why, with disassociating with Cog, um, you did disassociate with him. It doesn't matter when you did disassociate with him, and then you've also disassociated with a whole bunch of other people. And
I didn't.
so is the
I asked.
is the disassociation just in itself? Don't worry about the semantics of when you did and why you did and all of that. The disassociation itself, is that to do with the train analogy, with they just weren't on your path anymore, and that's why you did it?
It's weird because it's like if I say it's a path, then it's like I had a goal, and if it's like they didn't connect with my goal or help me achieve my goal, then I just got rid of them. And
Is that the
you're
reason why, or you just?
no, I didn't have a goal. I just enjoyed spending time and hanging out with people, and I loved it and I appreciated it. And
But
there's one thing.
so why?
I,
But why disassociating? Why do that? Why have a confrontation with some people and just say, well, that's it then. I'm going my
I
own
think
way on the whole thing. That's it.
I can only say that in regards to Blue Waffle and Stretch, I felt like in that situation, maybe I, I was like, I went more direct and I didn't think before I did it, and I shouldn't have done it,
Hmm.
in all honesty. Like, how you get caught in the moment, you're in the heat of the moment and you do something stupid.
Yeah, but there's heat of the moment. But you just you stuck to your guns on that for such a long time that by
No,
the end of
because
it, so many other people were also disassociated, and the damage was already done with the relationship.
it was, and the damage is already done. Look, as far as the whole Cog thing, I've always, like, I remember asking Cog, could I have said something and maybe you took it because I can say something and maybe people take it the wrong way, or maybe I didn't say it the way I would have liked to say it so that they could understand. I'm gonna get off the cog thing now. And he said no. I shouldn't have done it. I'm sorry I did it. I can't change it. But I have to say, in all honesty, like it was really a heat of the moment where I felt everyone was coming at me, and I just said, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna let them go and try to move forward."
And
that
so
was,
you didn't anticipate that this would get this out of hand, or you
I
thought you
didn't
could
think.
control it?
No, I never thought I don't think I can't control I can't control people. I can't control how bad things get. I think that you're sometimes put in a position where you can do the best you can with a certain situation, but you can't control externals, you know, and what people think and what people feel. And it got to the point where people thought that I was lying about something. I'm like, okay, you know, it's not that I'm dodging you. It's just that I can't control you. So if I can't control you, then what's the point of me trying to tell you, okay, this is where I'm coming from, you know?
I
It's
guess, yeah.
I
Because
didn't mean it.
you can see that's why most people jumped on the bandwagon and got pissed off. Was, I would say, the main problem. I mean, it's got nothing to do with strategic thinking in car soccer. The
No, it
crux of
doesn't.
the
No,
issue is the disassociation over such petty and small, insignificant things. Yeah.
in all honesty, I never the car soccer and the you know, all the stuff that happened from it. I don't think that was anything, to tell you the truth. I think that is the thing that I care about the least, and I don't think anybody really cares about it, to tell you the truth.
Oh
I
yeah.
think it was the stuff afterward. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the
That really.
VC, that voice chat after the stream where Cog, Elizabeth, Lionheart, Stretch, and can't remember the other guy. I haven't chatted
Waffle.
to him.
No, not Waffle wasn't there. Waffle
No, there
wasn't
was
there.
another guy, Silver or something. Can't remember.
I don't remember. Maybe Phantom, OG Phantom, maybe. I don't know. I don't
Don't know.
remember.
I think it's one of Cog's guys. But they've all
Yeah,
said, yeah. I think that is where this all occurred, because
and I
you
think
all of a sudden you're disassociating over
I
putting
think
out a stream or not. Yeah.
I think like to some degree, maybe that has a major impact, and people don't like the thought of someone just being able to cut people off. And I think that can hurt people. It can bother people. Damn, he just cut me off just like that. It's almost as if I didn't even mean anything to him, you know?
Yeah, and over nothing as well. It was just like, oh, especially like
Yeah,
with Stretch or Blue or something. Yeah, with those two, I guess. Yeah, it's the main ones, isn't
with
it?
those two, it was absolutely stupid, and it was dumb, and I shouldn't have did it. And I'm sorry about it, and I have to take the consequences for it.
Oh
But
yeah, well, Stretch is going at you pretty hard now.
well, he is, and he'll continue. I can't control him, so I just have to live with it. You know, you got to live with it.
And so, what about? Okay, let's pick just one of the smaller people that like Captain Weeb. Why would you? Because Captain Weeb, you know, it's like hurting kittens if you're gonna be mean to Captain Weeb. Why would
I
you
love.
block him?
I blocked Captain Weed because he came like. I remember. Do you remember the Titanfall stream? By any
Yes.
chance? I was on the Titanfall stream, and Captain Weeb is messaging me on my Discord, and he's trying to explain to me that, you know, like he's saying words that are positive, you know, that you don't, you know, say to someone that you don't like. Like he's not really going at me in a way that everyone else is going at. He's not giving me shit, you could say, you know, and it's like he's trying to be reasonable with me. I got screenshots in Cog's Discord that right after he had the conversation with me, that he had called me a coward in Cog's Discord. So that bothered me, because you're having a conversation with me 1 minute, and then a few minutes later, after you've had this conversation that I felt positive about, that maybe Captain Weave could eventually help me so that I could have a big conversation with a lot of people, because he was being reasonable, and sometimes you just need one person to talk to about it and maybe, you know, put something together. And then a few minutes later, in the Discord, I see he's saying, Uway is such a coward, and that bothered me. And the following morning,
Yeah.
I went to Captain Weave and I said, "You called me a coward." He said good morning to everyone, and I said, "Didn't you call me a coward last night after you'd spoken to me so nicely?" And he said, "Yue, that's not something you want to bring up this morning." And then I said, "Okay, now I know." Like that's the stuff that bothers me. Like if you say something 1 minute, then the next minute you're saying that, then that that kind of had a negative impact on me.
And so, would you say for the majority of the disassociations, like his, that they were, it was just, they were basically jumping on the bandwagon, so it was sort of inevitable. If they started
It was
giving you shit
inevitable.
on the whole situation, they're probably going to get disassociated.
Do you remember the night that I don't know, so you probably don't remember the night, but I was out with my friends and I had come back. This was after Cog stream.
Mm.
And I came back home and it was 12 minutes to AP stream. While I was in the Discord talking to people, a lot of the people I was talking to who seemed very supportive, I got a screenshot of them in other Discords saying some very hurtful things that a lot of them was saying. Some of the special people that really supported me were sending me live screenshots, literally live,
Mm.
of things that they were saying about me, and I think that really bothered me.
But you can
It
understand why they said it.
No, I did that first night. I couldn't understand it because they all seem so nice in my Discord, and then I'm looking at screenshots, and they were the complete opposite in the screenshots, and I'm like, oh my god, they seem so supportive, and like you look at the screenshots, and
Well,
they
I
just
think,
seem.
yeah, because you got pretty, you would get very easily wound up by a screenshot. Because I remember I gave you a screenshot from the FTW server just saying, "Oh, this is what Cigar is thinking," and he's calling you a coward and saying that your Discord was a hug box. And then for the next 2 days, all I'm hearing is on stream talking about my Discord's not a hug box. I let these people in. I let Hef in. Damn it. It's not a hug box. So do you say that it had a lot of impact on you just from seeing people's statements out of context behind your back?
That had a major impact on me.
Mm.
It had an extreme impact on me, because and you could go to Thieves, and you can go to Liz, and you can go to a number of other people who seemed, and that's the reason why I disassociated with Liz. I saw what she was saying behind the scenes, and I I had a difficult time living with it. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have just not. Maybe I shouldn't have cut them off right that fast. At the same time, look, if you're talking about authenticity, the people that are still helping me or supporting me are people who are their integrity is untouched in my view.
I think the disingenuous stuff comes from the semantics about a lot of your answers to questions that about the truth about things. So that the
About
girlfriend.
the cog stream.
Well, there's like your final confrontation with the cog stream. There's quite a lot of that. Then
there was a lot of it, and a lot of people I mean, in particularly Cog and the other 9 to 12 people who went at me that night didn't think I was being as honest as possible. And I just thought to myself, I'm going to give you the answer that I can give you. And if you don't like it, there's nothing I can do about it. I meant it every single time. And it's like it got to the point where if I'm going to tell you an answer and you're not going to believe me no matter what, what's the point of going along with this? What am I? It's
because then
I'm
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, no, I was gonna say, like, extending out from that, because there's all this the word game semantics and people are breaking down every single thing that you're saying. people are then going back and questioning, you know, because you got the ages of your girlfriend or ex-girlfriend different, you know, they're different.
Very true. Yeah. I wasn't. I always said that she was. I either said that she was in her early 30s or close to her mid 30s, and it was because like here I am. I'm in a situation where I'm already doxxed. I made the biggest mistake a while before because I mentioned around May, before I had even gotten really close to anyone, that my birthday was. I'll say it. My birthday's May 4th. And I'm just thinking to myself, okay, how good can these people be? So I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to give the exact age. I'm just going to say, okay, she's either here or she's either here, but she's definitely in this age frame. She's definitely in her 30s. And I just, I don't want to try to get it. And I happen to know that I think some people have been trying to look Maria up. And it's not good because I miss her. I miss spending time with her, and I spent time with her the previous weekend that just passed. She is my ex-girlfriend, but you know, there's always a possibility that maybe we could have another relationship.
You know, there's lots of people that you won't talk to and that you've totally blocked out and all of that.
I, as
What's
far
the
as like
main, yeah, apart from the trolling and, you know, people saying mean things and that, what would be the main reason behind all of it?
just the feeling that there at this point it's gotten to the point now where there's just people who no matter what I say, they're always gonna look at me a certain way, and there's no way to build anything positive off of that. And it's like a situation where you have to cut your losses. As far as YouTube goes, like the other day, and I think Hef was surprised, I unbanned his main account. I'm going to start every day. I'm unbanning accounts. Every day on Twitter, I'm unbanning accounts. Cog mentioned on one of his streams, "Oh, Uway unbanned me," and then I unbanned moderator Marcy, and then I unbanned Hef. Eventually, I'm gonna try to unban every single person. I unbanned Stretch, like people who are, you know, criticizing me harshly. I'm still unbanning them because I'm learning. And now there's people in my Discord who might criticize me, and they're never getting banned and they're never getting kicked. A lot of I gotta acknowledge, I'm still like I was a noob in this. Like I was really, really inexperienced in how to handle this situation. And I think that it provided me, that was in some ways a number of silver linings where I'm gaining experience and I'm understanding how to deal with this particular situation as far as my Discord, my Twitter, and my chat on YouTube.
Yeah. And can you see it from everybody else's perspective? Where
Yeah,
they've seen
I
you,
can.
because everybody else also thinks the exact same thing, where this is such a small little thing that's gone totally out of hand because of your actions disassociating and saying really silly stuff that you're going to change the internet rules and well things like that.
No,
You know, that's
what
not
I
that's
meant,
just an example of a lot of different things that you've said. So
you see,
yeah, but do you just get that from? I don't need you to explain what you mean, but do you get it from their point of view that
I
it's
get,
also such a silly thing, but they're just looking
there
at you,
was,
just going, "Oh my god, like what is Uwe doing?"
I was stupid, and I handled it poorly, and I think I could have handled it better. I regret not handling it better. As far as changing the internet rules thing, there are certain rules about the internet that I look at it and I think to myself, why should do I why like there's certain things people say to you, and I've had people tell me, oh, okay, this is something. If somebody calls you out, you have to go on, or you're going to be perceived a certain way. And I just look at that rule and I think to my, or a guideline, or this is just something that you're supposed to do. And I look at it and I think to myself, why the fuck do I have to follow that?
Well, it's because you're part of the community and part of the culture, and I think that's just the
Well,
way it is. There's not
I'm
much you
part of
can
the
do about
community.
it. If
I
you
don't
don't
know.
go and do it, you're going to look bad. I think
Yeah.
your rep is, because you can't see you, you're not a physical form, you're just this voice with a personality. Your rep is all you really have, and you've got to stand up for that rep. And so if people call you out, you need to ensure that rep stays in place and keep going along, you know, and prove yourself that you are the best form that you can be, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I see where you're coming from 100%, but then this is where that collides with something like stoicism, where it says you can't control your rep.
Yeah. Okay, so stoicism. You keep saying it. How has stoicism shaped your life and this drama in particularly?
I think it's put me in a position where, like, certain situations it doesn't bother me as badly, even though I'm not perfect at it. So you really have to learn this stuff, and you have to live it, and you have to live it every day, and it has to become a part of you. You have to internalize it. I haven't become a master at it yet. It's impossible to become a master at it. You can't be perfect at it, but I do take lessons, and I try to apply them as much as I can.
But what principles have you used as far as the drama is concerned, and as far
The
as dealing with it?
externals, the externals, and the fact that you can't control other people. You can't control their opinions. If you say something to them and they don't believe it, you can't control them.
And so what do? You just block that out, or do you take it to internalize it?
No, you have to be, according to Stoicism, and this is called the dichotomy of control. The only thing you worry about is whatever is in your control.
And so you're indifferent to it.
And so you treat people as well as you can, but you're indifferent to people at the same time. You care, like, it's not that you don't care about them, but you have to be indifferent to them because you can't control them. And I've built up the skill to some degree in this experience, and I've been able to apply it within these past 2 or 3 weeks. And other times I failed to apply it. But
it's probably it's probably also caused you problems.
It's
because people wanted answers, and people wanted
you're not.
Yeah, people wanted answers basically, and they wanted you to come forward and stand up for yourself, and yet you've just been indifferent to all of that, disassociating and going and doing something else and doing your own thing.
Stoicism. Look, here's the thing about it. Stoicism is one of those things that, if you're gonna live it, you got to be prepared for the fact that people are gonna call you a fool. People are gonna. There are people who don't know what it is to truly be a stoic.
Do you understand that might have been a bit of a bad thing in this situation, and it's caused more problems than it has been beneficial?
It's gonna be It's been the actions I've taken in regards to it. You see, here's the problem. It's about your perception, and that's another thing. It's how you see it, and to the outsider looking in who doesn't know how the hell I'm thinking, you might say, okay, this is all going bad, bad, bad. Of course, there were certain things that, still bothered me, even though, because I'm not perfect at it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're not supposed to care about the externals in this world. You're really not.
But it's doing that got you in, that took you deeper into down the hole with the trolling and all the drama and it building up to that confrontation with Cog and everything after that.
And according to the Stoics, I'm not supposed to care. But here's this is where I would fail according to Stoicism, but still be positive in other ways. I did care. I cared enough that I went on the stream. I cared enough that even though it tells you you're not supposed to care what people think about you, you can't control them, it still hurt, and I still cared about that. I think to some degree the Stoicism helped me get through this. It helped me so that there were times that didn't bother me as bad. That I was able to handle. It caused it, but at the same time, the effects of it, like, I was able to just to better deal with, because it wasn't in my power there were mistakes I made that I shouldn't have made that were in my power, and I fucked up. I imagine every night being a locale. Well, like that's another thing about stoicism. You're supposed to go and imagine what's the worst that could happen, and try to imagine it as clear as day.
God, that's not
And
healthy.
it's actually really healthy because no,
Sorry.
if
Yeah.
I mean we can disagree, but they say it's extremely healthy because you see the problem is we hope for things, and more often than not we don't prepare ourselves for the worst. Stoicism teaches you to prepare for the worst. I mean, hope for the best, but prepare yourself for the worst. And if you can imagine being in a situation where things get that bad, you'll sooner or later discover that you can get past it. You can survive it. You can get through it. You know,
Yeah, I just think
it.
your own principles have gotten you to this point. As far, okay, don't look at anything else except for the internet drama, just the internet drama as a whole, not
Okay.
specifics, just big picture, right? Internet drama, main cause of that disassociation and
I
your
think
stoicism and trying to treat people with the indifference in that. It's caused,
if,
and that's caused the problems. So is it a good thing to have, even if it's helped you through the situation when it's the main cause for the situation? Because most people are just amazed, and I mean, you're amazed yourself. Everybody is amazed at how such a little thing got blown out of proportion so hard, and you went down so fast.
yeah,
And
I
we all
did.
just
And
watched it and laughed and just went, "Oh my god, what a dumpster fire!"
do you know I prepare my mind for the possibility that I may never ever I'm never gonna come up again. I'm always going to be looked at terribly or looked down upon or hated or
As Uway
people.
in this community, maybe,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I've already there's a stoicism again. I've already calmed myself to the possibility that that is always going to be the case, and people are always going to hate me for it. And you know what?
And why
So
not?
be it.
And so why not just move on? Because you could be done with it. The good thing about the internet is you can always just put it down and go away. You can always go somewhere
I
else. You can always go somewhere else in the internet. You know what I mean? You start another YouTube channel and just don't tell anyone. Or you just go to
I've
DLive
started.
or Mixer. Mixer's supposedly a great site now, that they're building. Why not
I've
start
started.
there?
You know what? And maybe I'll still have a place. I'll have places there. I've started two other YouTube channels, but at the heart of the thing, I'm just UA.
Mm.
And even though it's a bad look, I think that to some degree, it's a good thing to just. I think that this situation and these circumstances have toughened me up to the point where I can understand. It is that baptism in fire where and eventually people, there's always a possibility that with time people will forgive. I guarantee you there are definitely going to be people who aren't, no matter what. But I have to remember what I came here for. I came here to just have a simple stream where I could say hi to people and have a conversation. And if they're in the Discord, hey, come on, why don't we talk? And I
Yeah.
enjoyed the interaction. The interaction is something that I absolutely love.
Do you think you are passive aggressive sometimes, and this could be a lot of the problem as well, apart from the
Do you mean like
dissociation?
I don't directly criticize people when I should?
Or
Yeah,
you put the blame on other people for your own mistakes.
there were definite. Like I said, I should have been better to Blue.
Mm.
I can see from the outset when he said, "Okay, maybe I was getting on him." Oh no, I was maybe attacking him for the past couple of days or leading up to that point. Absolutely.
Well, overall, do you see how you've been passive aggressive towards people and how that sort of ticked them off as well?
Like like maybe I had disrespect, like I said something that made you feel bad, and I shouldn't have said it.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying
Well,
to
just
like.
putting blame at people's feet, I think was the main one.
I think that
I think really that's the basic.
Yeah.
If you break every single sort of statement down where people have sort of been like, oh well, he said this and that's a bit mean, you know, what a dickhead. It really
think
comes
for-
down to putting blame at their feet for something that probably isn't really their fault.
I've always debated this. Like, I did wrong, and I take 100% responsibility, and that means there are consequences to that. And I brought this up with you. Did the punishment fit the crime? I don't think it did fit the crime.
Yeah,
I think I messed.
See, you're seeing it as a crime, and people
I know,
giving
I
you
did-
judgment in court. It's a dumpster fire on the internet, and people want to laugh at dumb things on the internet. And you were doing dumb things. It doesn't.
I was?
Yeah, and that's what I keep trying to tell you is it doesn't matter about the strategic thinking. It doesn't matter about that initial fight, and even it's the fact that you started acting dumb about it and doing dumb things, and it became an internet, you know, a dumpster fire. Everyone calls them internet dumpster fires when drama starts. Everyone is there and everyone just stands around and chucks a bit of fuel on and watches it burn and has a good laugh. They just want to. It's like Plate and anybody else, like Medica, anyone, myself, they just want to laugh at dumb shit they see on the internet.
And you know what? If I say, if I were to say, like, I take 100% responsibility for everything I've done here, and I made a mistake and I shouldn't have done it, and I acted really stupidly at times, and at times people gave me good advice and I didn't take it. I think that's fair, dude. I think that's a fair.
I think it's a fair assessment.
And
You jump into a call, and with Cog, he's asking you for a fight. You lie to him, and then you disassociate with most of the people in that call.
I disassociated
and cause drama, and you don't, and then you wonder why there was a stream.
I didn't see
people have done a lot less. You know what I mean? They get on Cog's stream and get called out.
People have done. Well, I guess people have done a lot less. I didn't. It goes back to the same thing again. Did I disassociate? I didn't disassociate from him.
Yeah, but you did afterwards. Now you're playing semantics.
Afterwards,
and it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Does it matter?
I mean, afterwards, I did. You know, when it got to that, then yeah, I did. If I disassociated from Cog, then I'm saying we're done, we're finished. I'm never dealing with you again. If I didn't disassociate from Cog, then what I was planning on doing later on that night was to say, "Hey, Cog, here, look at. I was gonna look up how to do a screenshot, and then I was gonna send. Okay, look, this is why I can't show you the video.
You still hadn't done it until I came to you. I mean, in house, he can't read your mind. But no. Yeah, he can't. Okay, so number one, he can't read your mind. Two, it's his channel, and if he perceived you as acting dumb and being oversensitive about it because you're disassociating with everyone else, and then lying about saying that it's private, and he's like, "What? You're hiding your streams, and now you're disassociating? What the hell, man?"
I mean, you know,
just see it from his perspective, like at that point in time.
I see it from his perspective, and
well, if you see it from his perspective, and he does streams for much less,
yeah, I can see it from his perspective. You have a person who has a stream based on drama, and I think he just, he fed off of it, and he wanted to do something with it.
But that's what he does. He just talks about what the drama is.
I hear you, and I just didn't see it coming, and I did not expect any special treatment.
Yeah, because people have seen like you see in that 2-minute lore video that I put out. It's just you on past Cog streams, or Cog and Co, Esau or whatever as well. And it just comes across as very hypocritical. Because you're saying the exact same things, and all I did was change the name Warski to Uway. That's all I did in that video. I just went Uway car soccer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just comes across as totally hypocritical when you, because all week it was just like, I can't believe Cog's done this. I can't believe Cog's done this. The punishment doesn't fit the crime.
I take 100%. Like I said, where is my fault? It's my fault. I think things could have been handled a little bit differently. It wasn't. Nothing can change it. And if I hadn't done wrong, we probably wouldn't be here. We are.
No. If you hadn't have disassociated with the people in that VC, well, mainly Blue Waffle and Stretch, over a silly game of car soccer, and then lied to Cog, you wouldn't be here now. It'd be totally different. None of this would have happened. Then, if you had gone on the FTW stream and just fallen on your sword, or someone's stream, and talked to Cog in a reasonable manner, and just been like, eating a big piece of dick for 5 minutes, and just said, yeah, I'm totally wrong, would have been all over. But you really felt strongly about it, and you just didn't want to.
I should have handled the situation a lot differently. I've learned a lot from it, and yeah, I'm a good person, and I want to treat people well, and I love treating people well, because in real life, I can't be that way. I have to be so much harder with people, and I think people, like some people, really appreciated it, and just the feeling that, look, if a person is having a really fucked up day, and if you treat them well, that can make all the difference. I've had angry days and hateful days, and while I've been working, and I still managed to do something nice. I just a genuine feeling that you want everybody to do well, regardless. I want Tonkasaw to do well. I want Plate to do well. I want everyone everywhere to just be doing fine. You know? I think that that's something that is really central to who I am. It was never fake. I really care about people, and I really want the best for people. And people think when I say nice things and when I say I wish the best for you, that I'm being disingenuous. I want the best for everyone. There was a stream recently where Cog looked at my liked videos, and he saw that one of the videos was a stoic video, and it said the power of walking away. And I was literally just saying, you know what? You guys are going to say bad things about me no matter what. In some ways, I've apologized to you. I don't know what else I can do. So I'm just going to walk away. If it blows over, it blows over. If it doesn't, then I'm just going to walk away and do my own thing. And if I get 100 dislikes, then so be it. Well, I can't control it.
Yeah, you should have a one-on-one honest conversation with Cog. Do it in private VC without the chat. And then he can put it up on stream after or something like that. So it's the best case scenario for both of you, and talk it out.
What is the real conversation versus I'm trying to be 100% right on my show and make Uway look the fucking worst as possible?
He would have good questions for you, though, I guess.
I think he would have good questions, and I've heard that the main question was regarding the 16-year-old, and and that's what bothers me. Now, are you really trying to have a conversation, or are you trying to portray me as a pedophile, or make me into the worst fucking person imaginable? This was the most recent question he asked me on Twitter. Okay, he said just write yes or no. Did you mean that you treated Stretch wrongly when you, I think, tried to apologize? And I'm trying to say it the way he said it. And I told him, yes, I hope I never have to deal with you again. And that's what I'm trying to say. Yes, I should have treated Stretch better. And I'm telling you, I didn't treat him as good as I should have. And he immediately comes out and says, good luck being a lol cow who follows philosophy, who talks to 16-year-old girls. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, I just answered your question, and you just did it to have an aha moment and to lambaste me. So you're not having a conversation for the conversation's sake. You're having a conversation simply for the entertainment value. And if that's what it's going to be about, then why have a conversation with you at this point? You know? That's the problem I'm having with this. It's not a real conversation. I'm gonna try to paint Uway into the worst fucking person imaginable. Why am I gonna have that conversation with you? It's like you're coming from a bad place. You're not coming from a good place. No, I made my share of mistakes. I'm not perfect. Like I said, I do beg forgiveness for what I did. To those people who were supportive of me and that I let them down, I'm sorry. I won't make the same mistake again. EarJuice, I'm sorry if I treated you wrongly. No, I'll take that back, because if I treated you wrongly, Cog is gonna look at that and he's gonna say, "Oh, he didn't say you treated him wrongly." EarJuice, I treated you wrongly, and I should have treated you better. Okay, I'm really sorry. Forgive me for that. That's your choice. And yeah, I'm glad that we were able to have a conversation. I hope it's able to shed some light, and I really, really wish everyone well. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for just taking the time.
But then, a few days later...
All right. Because I'm not unbanning anybody. Good. Nobody's getting unbanned. No matter what.
You dumb fuck.
All right, we got 50.
As I stated at the beginning of this video, Uway seemed sincere within the interview, but at the same time is still exhibiting the same behaviour that caused this drama in the first place, keeping this whole shit show going on forevermore. To me, the definition of a proper apology is not just words, but also actions to show that one has learnt from their past mistakes and is trying to make amends. But then he continues to block people out who have continuously tried to give him advice and reach out to try and squash their beef. So I didn't really know what to think. So decided to go back around on the interview circuit, where I gave select people the full interview to listen to, and then got their perspective on the situation. For days, I was talking about what Uway had said in a positive light, but now I was just getting mind-fucked and going crazy. It was all just like too... What's that noise? Hello? Hello?
Behold! For we are the buff people! You cannot escape us, EarJuice.
God damn it, not the moth people, fucking again.
No matter how hard you try, my annoying flappy wings will flap about. And we will use our laser eyes to put holes in all your human garments.
Fuck that, get out of here, you shit.
Stop it!
Go on,
Quit it.
get,
No!
go on, get.
You think you can defy me? Not even your precious Power Rangers can stop me this time, EarJuice.
Goddamn moth people and your damn flappy wings.
We will be back. We are Legion, and we have many a minion. Goodbye, EarJuice. Until next time.
Huh. Well, that happened.
People will say that I'm like a vindictive girlfriend about it, but there's this really good reason why I'm as pissed off about the situation as I am. And that's because when I first ran into him, like I told you before, we had it out on a COG stream, and he was nothing but an asshole to me, calling me a thought, saying I need to go in the kitchen, I need to go blow my at the time fiance's dick, be subservient, you shouldn't talk, blah 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 blah. And I gave him a second chance after that. I gave him a second chance. I gave him the benefit of doubt, said, okay, yeah, I was wrong about the situation, but I'm owning up to it in public. And then he started to kind of be nice to me. And so it's like, for you to yell at me and call me a piece of shit for giving somebody the benefit of the doubt before, and I do the same thing for you, and you treat me like shit again. What the fuck? Even if with this stoicism, all he really needs to do is talk to people. And he would be in such a better position. We wouldn't fuck with him. I fuck with him as hard as I do because of the way he's treated me. If you're going to treat me like that, I'm going to treat you like shit. I'm going to call you out on your bull. But I'm reaching out a hand to him before I even start ragging on him again. And that's because the reaction he gives, he just either ignores it or he goes, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to. At first, listening to the interview, I was pissed. And then afterwards, I was just disappointed because I did actually think that we were going to be really good friends. And this whole shit fest happened like a week before I got married. So it's like, I was excited to talk to him about that stuff. I talked to him all the time. I bought him a fucking game so that we could share that kind of experience. So like, you can't even give me the benefit of the doubt of being honest to my face. And you still haven't learned from that.
This is so gay, but I made some notes as like I was listening to your little interview. There's so many points that like he backpedaled on. It was so frustrating listening to it. Like I wanted to scream because I couldn't interact with it. I'm hearing him and I'm like, oh, one of the things, he's talking about the stoicism and all that. And he just had to accept that if things with someone didn't go a certain way, you just have to let them go. But he only did that with people that were critical of him, people that criticized him. As long as you didn't bring up any points negative about him, then yeah, he was fine. But anybody that was critical of him, it was immediately, he shut him out. And he said that he thought people were shocked at his ability to cut people off and that's why he got the reaction that he did. Well, we were shocked that he cut people off, but like it was some grand gesture, we were shocked that his ability to cut people off. But at the same time playing victim, you can't be this ballsy person that is just shutting people out and crying victim at the same time. You know what I mean? Like that contradicts, like whatever philosophy he's got going in his head. It's like, okay, are you doing this intentional or not? He apologized over and over and over in the interview and said he's learned from his mistakes and he's learned from that. But he's still, even at the end of the interview, he's still defending the same things. And I don't know. Like he said that a lot of his reactions were the heat of the moment. And that if people would have that the reason he blocked a lot of people is because they were being nice to his face and hateful or talking, negatively about him in a different Discord, and he was getting screenshots and all that. That's not true in my case. I've been consistent with him this whole time, yet I'm still one who's blocked. I just got timed out yesterday and didn't even say anything overly offensive. I've been consistent with him this whole time. I've never kissed his ass. I've never, I told him weeks ago, I thought he was acting like a 16-year-old boy going through puberty. Been consistent this whole time. Have never been overly harsh. I've been honest and told him my criticisms. So I don't know. I don't think he's learned from anything. I think he's going through the motions to say that he has and saying what he thinks people want to hear to try to dig himself out of the hole. And I think our community will move on from it just because most people are sick of hearing about Uway and like the whole same old drama. But I think this will continue to happen with him wherever he goes. If he goes to a different community, I think it'll happen again because I honestly don't think he sees anything. He sees fault in himself, but it's all like dependent on someone else. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I did this wrong, but it's because they did this. He can't just accept responsibility for it entirely and own it and move on.
Hephaestus was yet to speak in any interviews for the Uway Lore videos. but had watched them all, listened to the interview, and was close with Uway prior to the drama. He reached out, and so we sat down together and had a conversation about everything that is Uway, breaking it all down. Again, the interview was cut down for time, so check the link in the description for the full interview on SoundCloud. I should also point out that I'm planning to put a range of the full interviews up on my SoundCloud as well, so I suggest if you want more content, then we go much more in depth within them.
We are coming for you all, pesky humans.
Yeah, so I just loaded up the Festus interview, and I knew it was long, but there's some stuff that I could cut out, maybe half of it, but it's an hour and fucking 30 minutes long. So let's say another half of that, an hour and 45. We're still gonna have probably a 2-hour video. I really don't want to do this. I'm going insane. I swear. People are gonna give me so much shit for this. Oh my god. Okay, fine. No, fuck it. We're gonna do a part 4. We're gonna do a part 4. If Festus will be in the part 4. God, I hate my life. All this editing, I tell ya. And just talking about Uway for this long. I want to be done. But it is worth it. I think Festus is worth it. I'm not... If you want interviews or whatever and you start hitting me up, no. Leave me alone. Stay off bloody Discord. I'm going to go back to Bitwave, I think. Oh, I'm going insane, eh? Oh, I'm going insane. You know what that means? It's those moth people. I hear them. They're outside now, flapping their wings, shooting laser eyes. I've got all the lights off, but I know they're there. The moth people are coming for me. It's only a matter of time.
This is fucking autistic.